Me and a friend, we always go to City Park on the weekend and do a free boot camp. We develop a big group. And this older lady walked past, she said, "How much you charge?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't, it's free, come join us." She's like, no, I was just asking. She said, "The guy over there charged such and such." I said, "I understand, we just do it for free." She said, "No, my point is, you have a bigger group than him. So I feel, you know what you're doing. So if you know what you're doing, you should charge." So the fitness business doing well, but I was mixing money. I didn't know how to manage money back then. I was taking the money I was making from fitness and investing in parties and concerts, whatever. So one day I came to the studio. I got a full schedule on tap, but the lights out. I forgot to pay the bill. And then when I checked the account, my pockets, I done invested money over here that ain't come back yet from the party.
Welcome to the Business is War podcast. My name is Elliot Foreman, and today we talk about fitness, family, faith, and finance. It's an area where you can do what you need to do and earn an amazing living, but it comes with consequences. It comes with benefits and rewards. And today we have the best in the business here in New Orleans, Mo Flippin, Mr. Earn That Body, Mr. Fitness Guru himself. Welcome to the show.
Man, I appreciate it.
Man, listen, it's been real. And what I would say is I've watched you. First of all, you're in better shape than me, and I don't really particularly care about that. But no man can serve two masters. So you are in the gym, and that's where you get it from, right?
Yes.
So how often do you work out?
Basically every day, do something.
Why not be a fat fitness trainer? You see fat business. Listen, NFL head coaches be a little bit overweight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you still a representation of your brand. So if you want people to take it serious, you got to take yourself seriously.
Well, listen, to that note, how do you compete with the beautiful model level yoga pants wearing Pilates and Peloton girls that are tearing the entire fitness world up with products and everything else that they're doing?
That's not my lane. I was blessed to build my business off of results. Mm-hmm. I did my best not to center it around myself and how I look and stuff like that. It really was just, I wanted to showcase what you're getting when you come here. Mm-hmm. When you work with Mo Flippin and the Earn That Body team, you're going to get your money worth, and this is your expectation of the potential results you can get.
So, out of curiosity, what does a workout look like for you? Is it different for everybody, that every one of your clients like?
Yeah, because, everybody have different struggles, ailments. Some people coming straight off the couch. Some people some people been doing it. They just need a little structure and accountability. And then everybody got different goals and focus. So, yeah, it'd be a mix. It'd be mixed up.
How much does a diet play into the role of someone's, fitness?
Major. It's you can't get results without it. That's the beauty and the curse of being in a great city like New Orleans, because we're known for great food, good drinks, good time, partying.
We don't have nothing else to offer. But one thing New Orleans can do better than everybody else is put some Tony Satchers in the food.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so they coming off the couch. They got the potato chips in their pocket. They show up for a training session. What does a training session look like?
First of all, got to get you to sign the waiver. Once you sign the waiver, you're all mine.
Okay, so you don't want them in Charity Hospital on the bed. Okay.
And then we get on the scale. We got to get that reality check. See where we at, and then we're going to come in agreement of the direction of how many pounds you want to lose or whatnot. And then from there, I'm going to warm you up, get you on the treadmill or whatever just to get the body warmed up, stretch, and then we're going to get to your workout.
Let me ask you a question. How much do you feel culture plays a role in the way people look and feel?
Oh, it's major. Like I said, this city is built off great times, good food, and good drinks. And for a long time, we was in the top 10 of one of the fattest cities in the world.
That makes me feel bad, because when you go to Miami, you go to LA, you go to Midwest Chicago, you look at people who walk more, who are taking their health seriously. They feel better. I hate to say
culture.
I hate to say they look better, but here in New Orleans, this the big easy. Mm-hmm. And so we are not in shape. And I tell that to young men all the time. If you're 20 years old and you can't bench press a certain number, jump fast, and run far, then you really might be missing out on the greatest years of your body.
This is facts.
Okay, so how do you grow a healthy fitness business in a city that kind of doesn't support it, if I'm being truthful?
honestly, you have to find a balance that fit the culture and the person. So when you do have your consultation, you really ask questions of what their life is like. I like to ask, tell me your daily life, like from start to finish, how does it go? And that let me know where I can insert certain things with meal plan, where we can insert activity and stuff. And then the balance. One of my biggest programs that's been successful is a 21-day program.
All right. Tell me why is it 21 days?
So being in New Orleans, to consistently ask somebody to say no for a month and then another month, it's not going to happen. And what I mean by saying no is to the birthday parties, to the birthday dinners, to the mixers.
That's all we do.
That's all we do. So, but if I can get you to commit for 21 days, take your week, breathe a little bit, go get your little drink, go have a good time, and then let's restart. It's easy to turn over, and they stick with you longer. Trying to get them to do a month straight and then come right back to another month, and you done turn down Elliot birthday dinner. You done turn down Mo party. You done turn down, girl, let's just go get some crawfish and some drinks.
Yeah. Oh, man. Crawfish season probably put 10 pounds on everybody in New Orleans across the board.
Yeah, so it's just finding a balance of 3 weeks to the good, 1 week to breathe, get a little fun excitement, but let's get back on that plan.
That's a good marketing hook right there. It's to give them 3 straight weeks, give them a break, and then start over again. But you know what? They have to build it into the lifestyle.
Right. So, but by being that, and they do, because by being on it for 3 weeks, that 1 week they're mindful. They're not just indulging over the top. Instead of like, oh, I'm gonna go to the buffet, I'm gonna get a bottle. No, they like, all right, I got my little sip of wine, I had a glass, I got my plate of crawfish. They are mindful because they about to start back. Instead of just going straight crash course, 3 straight dinners, whole bottle of wine. Yeah. So you training the mind also.
So I have a real question for you. What do people know less about? The way that their bodies work or the way that money works?
I would say their body. Money, what I've learned in life and business from the low end to
now, keep in mind, we were born with our bodies. We learned money at some point.
But we run from the reality check of our bodies and our health. If you ask somebody when the last time they've been to the doctors, they're going to be like,
Yeah.
If you ask them the last time they spent money or the last time they made money, they're going to have a quick answer.
Right. But I think that's a very good question because so many men don't go to the doctor. I understand that black men have a taboo about the way medicine works and the way that the medical profession works. I get it. I know guys going in to get a wisdom teeth pulled and come out with a appendectomy or something. You know what I'm saying? So it can happen. Okay. All right. So 21-day fitness challenge, trying to change the narrative of culture, trying to get obesity out of the gym. It's really tough out here. So,
out of the city.
Out of the city.
Right.
So tell me if a person wants to start, where do they start?
I'm gonna be honest to a lot of people. Your mind got to be right. Once you make the decision and your mind is into it, then we could take it whatever direction you want. If you're just doing it to be doing it or because it's a fad, then we're not going to be able to get too much accomplished because you're just doing it because it's a feeling. But once your mind made up and it become a routine or a program for you, then we could take you in whatever direction you need to. Even if it's a weight gain program, they do have some people that need to gain weight. So it's just really, I would say, once you truly make that decision mentally.
All right. So when did you? Let's start your journey. Where did you start at? Now, were you just the guy that just started working out and then you pivoted into business in it? How did it go?
Nah, man, it was just a conversation and a blessing. I always worked out because I always played sports, stuff like that. And then, we did in college. Me and a friend, we always go to City Park on the weekend and do a free boot camp. Honestly, it was a way to meet women and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
big girls or just regular size?
Everybody.
Okay. All right.
We was kicking it. We was young. So
that's terrible, Mo. Your business started from promiscuity, but go ahead. I got you.
So it's like we develop a big group, and this older lady walked past. She said, "How much you charge?" I'm like, oh, I don't. It's free. You know, come join us. She like, no. I was just asking. She said, the guy over there charged such and such. I said, I understand. We just do it for free. She said, no, my point is you have a bigger group than him. So I feel, you know what you're doing. So if you know what you're doing, you should charge.
Why would and we need people like that in our life. And sometimes out of the mouth of babes, but in this case, wisdom was given and you heard it. You took the assignment. Mm-hmm. So how did you go from that conversation to actually thinking of a gym and putting something together?
Well, I got on a whole nother path. I was throwing parties, concerts in New Orleans, in the nightlife, and it was great. It was fruitful.
They call it entrepreneurship.
Yes. It was great. Selling tickets out of a clothing store. For a big concert we had coming up, Young Jeezy. We had Young Jeezy coming up, and we were selling the tickets out of another black entrepreneur clothing store. And for like 3-4 weeks, we on the grind, and he said, man, something special about you. He said, man, you need a day hustle. I'm like, what you mean? He said, I know the nightlife and the parties, they good, but it goes in and out. He said, you need a day hustle. I was like, okay. He said, look, they got a studio next door. Why don't you go get it? He said, I'm going to show it to you. I'm like, the studio, it's small. He said, I don't care, just get it. I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna put there? He said, I don't know, you work out, put a gym there. So I'm like, it's too small to put a gym. And he was like, listen, figure it out. So I ain't gonna lie, I really went home, I prayed over it. 2 days later, God woke me up about 5, 6 in the morning, gave me the clear vision for it. It was small, but people want to work out, but they may not know how to work out. So personal training. And then also by being small, you have a lot of people who go to the big gyms and they get interrupted by conversations and et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to provide a private personal training studio.
So this is an organic business development.
Mm-hmm. So from there, when locked it in, they had windows on the front, and it was a straight back. And tinted out the front, limo tint black, put a little logo on the front, and turned into a private personal training studio. Okay,
day one, what was day one like?
Your immediate friends and family gave you a try.
Man, that's interesting because, you got to go 50 miles from your house to be an expert.
Man, listen, because, it was something new because I was known for throwing parties and concerts. And yeah, people know you work out.
They gonna hate, hey, you the concert guy. You ain't no fitness guy.
You throw parties, right. But when you transition to turn something you did for fun into a business, working out was fun. But then when I transitioned to the business, your immediate support came from close people that's just gonna give you a try.
I ain't mad with you.
Right. And it went from there, and they gave me a try. They posted that they worked out with me, and then we started to get results, and they word of mouth, and then it just was blessed to turn over. And then along the journey, I met a lot of great people who was willing to help. Mm-hmm. Because as men, we know what we know. But when you're blessed to meet other people who's not gatekeeping and open, hey, you good at this, but if you add this, it'd be better.
Yeah.
You don't have a website. What about the people out of town? You don't have a product. What about the people who and it just steamrolled into a big business.
That's called growth, and that's normally the way it happens. Is you supply demand and you fulfill needs. Mm-hmm. So you saying that your day one was you just started, you got a little bit of support from family, a little bit of social media, support, got some results, and then your needs kept growing, and so did the business grow with it to accommodate those needs.
Yeah. It wasn't popping at first. It was slow motion. It was a lot of days where I just sat there, and because I didn't have the best structure. Like I would show up at 6 a.m. and I remember if you signed up, you can come at any time. Mm-hmm. So I would really be sitting there from 6 a.m. to 7 at night, and that wasn't no structure.
No.
And you may have one person come at 6, one like you so spaced out and into different things like that. So it was a lot of trial and error growth to structure time slots, structure what we doing when they come and different things like that.
Okay, I got to be honest with you. the fast success builds an ego, and the slow success builds character. And for you to say that you had a lot of adjustments that you needed to have made because it wasn't quite working, put the hood up. Like I tell everybody in business, work on the Ferrari. Whether it's a nobody free car in the beginning, it can be a Ferrari. You just got to keep engineering it, and then it'll perform for you. But most people want the immediate success, and that's absolutely not going to get you where you want to be at.
You're not gonna last because you're not gonna value it.
Yeah, there you go. That the value proposition.
Learn how to change a tire, learn how to do an oil change, learning how to do the fine working parts of a car make you value your first car. But if it's given to you and you don't learn the inner workings, you don't know how to do certain things, you're gonna wreck it. You're gonna run it dry. You ain't gonna get an oil change. You're gonna bust tires and you're not gonna know what to do. You're not gonna know how to preserve it and keep it.
Let that be a lesson to any new entrepreneur that's starting out, that you gotta grow. And sometimes, the seed from the dirt is dark for a while before you hit the sunlight, I can appreciate that.
I read and hear a lot of success stories of these billionaires and millionaires. And if you go find out what they did, they went and worked the business first.
Right.
Before they purchased it.
That's the franchise model. You got to go work at Chick-fil-A at somebody else's shop and give them free labor.
Because you got to know.
Yeah.
You have to know the inner details. You got to know how many fries to put in the basket. You got to know the right temperature to set this in a third. And that way, once you learn the inner workings and build up, you know how to make a profit now.
You know what? That's what breaks my heart about this generation right now, because AI will answer the question before you can finish typing it. And the calculator will know the answer the moment you press the equal sign. And this new generation is taught the instant gratification of success, reward, answers, whereas we had to actually carry the one.
We had to do the work.
We had to do the work. And so I say this to a generation that does not understand what in the entire hell I'm talking about. And that's why there's such a communication gap from the 50 to 40, the 40 to 30, the 30 to 20, and so on and so forth. It is we're not speaking the same language.
You just defined social media, correct?
Break it down.
How we was brought up and raised, we had to make a name for ourselves outside by doing the work.
Yeah.
These days, people sit behind a computer and type and make a name through that.
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as they get shot, they fold.
Or as soon as their page get deactivated, they fold.
Yeah.
But that's why they say, certain people.
Boy, you hit me there.
That's why, we talk about certain people are who they are online and offline.
Yeah.
Because they've been had their name before social media. And then, they just use social media as a tool to enhance what they got going on.
Yeah.
But the ones who just,
Wait. It should be storytelling and not narrative building. Kind of, sort of. You know what I'm saying? But I get that. So who were your first partners when you first started the fitness journey?
I was solo.
You were solo?
Yeah, I was blessed to be solo. And the reason why I say blessed, because I had to learn and go through it to work with somebody else and value their time and value what they brought to the table.
Yeah.
Once the business started turning over, I tried to work with a lot of different trainers in the city, the unity and community. That was one of my biggest projects back then. But, I look back on it and I respect decisions they made. I'm gonna say that much. Their brand was their brand, and people be hesitant to merge and partner and stuff like that. So I just got to a point where I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of trying to do that. So I'm gonna build my own team. Instead of trying to connect with all these other trainers who already got their own brand, whatever, I'll just build my own team. And at the time was blessed to bring in, which is now my wife, and then later my best friend. And then we just grew it. Now we got a full team of 10 or 11 trainers.
Nothing wrong with that. Everybody know how to do the thing.
Yeah, but everybody has a different niche or specialty. So we all complement each other. We could promote each other without crossing each other up or feel like we're in competition. Like the support is tremendous at that gym and that team. And I say everyone is a number one draft pick because they're phenomenal at their craft. It's just that now I feel the work I put in, I'm just blessed to work with them and put them in position to grow. Because the thing I learned early is fitness is $1 billion business.
Sure is.
The million I make don't affect the million you make.
Yeah.
So we can have a team of trainers and everybody making $1 million, $2 million, and hey, we still ain't putting a dent into this $1 billion business.
Yeah.
And also is that I can't train everybody.
You understand that?
Right. So if they have 1,000 people in New Orleans that want to work with myself or to earn that body brand, I can't train 1,000 people. But if you're blessed to add a phenomenal black female, Brittany Flippin, and a phenomenal trainer, and Go Hard Joe, and the Batistas and Genegis, and like that team, that hey, we could do something, y'all. We could really help the city.
Okay, so you understand the concept of team, and I tell you something, a lot of entrepreneurs don't. The reason I do Businesses War is because I really do understand that so many people don't know how business works, and so many people don't understand how to price, how to structure a deal. And they haven't done any reading. They haven't done any groundwork. You're describing a ground game to me. Mm-hmm. How you started with an idea, an empty building, where you get your fitness equipment from. I mean, that's crazy to me because so many people haven't shot those reps in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Now, you mentioned that you are in business with your wife. Tell me about that. How did that come about that she actually starts to train and, becomes, co-chair, co-anchor?
Mm-hmm. She was open to, she worked out, and then once, the idea of turned into a professional business, mm-hmm. She trained a couple people and she loved the feedback she got from it, and it just went from there. Mm-hmm. But initially, the marketing part was she already had a shape that majority of women wanted, as in the small waist, mm-hmm. hips. But
not that I was looking, but I can agree, but go ahead.
So it's like, okay, we got the look, so they're going to give you a try. And she honed her skills and just turned into a whole nother thing. Yeah. And, she's a whole nother entity in her own self, whatever. And it grew, and, So, working together, of course it has its struggles. Yeah. Because you got to try to separate the personal decisions with the business decisions, and then you have to temper egos and pride, and you know what, you're right, let's go with your idea, let's go with your markets.
Again, that's leadership. And for me, a lot of people don't really get that part about it. For me, as a leader, I've started to take a lot more losses and allowing people to learn. Mm-hmm. I could legitimately do it right on the first time. That's strong. And I got to watch somebody struggling with it, all because I care about their development. And so this was something that I wasn't 100% sure that I was ready for. But as my business became more valuable, as my time became more valuable, I had to learn delegation skills. I had to learn partnerships. So now your wife's working with you. You're training together. You're operating together. What's a daily schedule with having a fitness influencing wife? Killer Joe and the rest of the team. What does a day of Earn That Body look like?
Man, we open the gym, lights get cut on, make sure everything's in place, and then it became a system. Everyone have their personal clients at different time slots. The gym itself has set class schedules. Right now we have.
So wait, you mean to tell me that your fitness facility that you started from one person, no equipment, in a small studio, has now got a curriculum and a schedule?
Yes.
Hey, amen to that. Welcome to Businesses War, where we actually discover how it works, because he just monetized and multiplied his business from a casual conversation and being out in the gym, being in City Park. I mean, I can chronicle this, bro. Yeah. I'm ready to write the book, dog.
Right.
That's
I think
crazy.
That's long overdue.
Well, you know what? I will say this, though, and I support you in doing it. And just like you had the first conversations that brought you from A, B, C to D, I say yes, it is long overdue. But I would also say this. Start with the end in mind. For me, when I wrote my first book, it was very selfish. I wanted to just try to get it out because I felt like it was long overdue. But what I didn't realize is that I didn't know what the massive takeaway needed to be. I didn't know what I wanted the reader to get from the last page and closing the book. And so for me, to you, my advice is do it, but just be able to answer the question of what you would like the outcome to be for the reader. And if you do that, then let your passion be your guide. Mm-hmm. You know,
I think it's the information. Mm-hmm. You know, for me, the quick thought would be the information, the real facts, because you know a lot of people get big on the word gatekeeping. Oh, he could have told me this and the third, whatever. So it's the information, the true information of the highs, the lows, the good days, the bad days, and what to avoid and what to embrace. Mm-hmm.
Mm. So I noticed something about you. You kind of have a little bit of a public life, but that's what comes with being a sociable personality that is going to want to garner the females that come work out, the guys that's going to come work out. You're easy to talk to. You're easy to approach. What is it like living in public?
It's a lot. But I try to stay grounded, mentally elevated, and spiritually connected. Because at the end of the day, you know, the good thing is by being in public light is the awareness and attention brings to your brand. But the bad thing is it puts you in position to be scrutinized, attacked, questioned, and et cetera, et cetera. You know, I've been blessed to see it and go through it personally and then see it with other people. And I always came up with one phrase. It comes with the territory.
Yeah, that's true. But do you know who Peyton Manning is? Mm-hmm. Do you know who his wife is?
No.
That's one point. Yesterday, I was in Houston, Texas, at an airport. And my partner Ramon's wife calls and says, "You're in the airport." And I'm like, "Dog, y'all track each other?" No, because some random lady called her on the phone and said, "I just saw your husband in the airport." Right. And I was like, wait, did that really just happen in real time? I just wanted to, I wanted to actually chronicle that moment because I was like, that is a little bit different. Mm-hmm. We are in a world with 9 billion people. Yeah. And for somebody 5 to 7 states over to the left.
You got to walk straight.
There you go.
You got to walk straight, boss.
I don't know. Yeah, that's very tricky. You know, so how do you live a public life with a beautiful public wife and a beautiful public business? I mean, like it has to have slings and arrows.
It do. Years ago, I didn't care. You know, I would just live my life. If I wanted to meet friends, I go meet friends. And hang out late and all that stuff, but then understanding that you are a brand, and you got to have brand integrity. And then as a man, you got to have integrity and pride also on how you carry yourself. And then learning, this the thing I learned. Once you get to a stage that people you don't know you, you got to move different. Yeah. You know, and you have to consider what you do affects the people connected to you. So that's where a lot of trimming of the fat throughout life came down. I tempered down, you know, remove myself from potential altercations.
Now watch this. I'm about to tell you what a king does. Because I've been watching the TV show, and this king is paranoid. Mm-hmm. He thinks everybody's out to get him. Right. You know why he's like that? Because he can't trust nobody. Because you'll never be hated on by somebody doing better than you. Mm-mm. And so for me, this
you say that. I just heard a clip today. I believe it was TD Jakes. Majority of the time, when somebody throw rocks, what direction they throwing it in?
Away from him.
They throw it up. When have you seen somebody throw a rock down?
Right. Yeah, I'm going to use that. Yeah, I get that. I really get it. I get that. I really get that. Okay, all right, so they're normally throwing a rock up. And so I would say to the person, hey, listen, don't be a rock thrower. Get your ass in the gym and shoot the reps and do it yourself and leave people alone, because you know what? Every time you throw a rock at you, throw a rock away from you, something's coming back, and you got to know it. And to that, I say, you know what? Touche. You know, yeah. So what's next for you? Tell me what you're working on right now.
Man, more flipping. That's what I'm working on. You know, these days with the world changing, the economy changing, life changing, the staying mentally intact, staying physically intact.
Well, how do you do that? You're in the public eye. You're always going to have somebody hating on you, and it comes with the territory. So what's harder to build, a body, a business, or a brand?
Mental. I'm sorry. It will be mental. Just to develop the strength to not respond, not engage in everything. Like you said earlier, you know, the greatest get attacked. You know, It's always that. And like I said, I may not be on their level, but there's certain people that I see that just be off in their own world. They be quiet, but next you know, they go a pop up. Here goes something they want to dig up from last year, 10 years, this and third. You know.
Let Donald Trump say he gonna stop that from being a law. You can't come after nobody after 12 days. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember when somebody gave him a sexual allegation from like, I don't know, 20 years ago. He was like, ain't no way in the world I'm gonna let that fly. Now, obviously, he is bulletproof. Because number one, he calls everything a lie, and number two, he uses the bully pulpit. And my advice to you would be, you know, do the same.
Right.
Because the hater has a job. Their job is to hate.
I was raised different. I was really groomed.
Oh, you mean like with morals?
Yeah, integrity. You know, as a man, as a you know, they always talk about the Y ends. Like I'm R end. Like, you know, we don't do all that. You know, I don't score points off telling somebody else bad stories or telling a chapter in their life they may not read out loud. Like, you know, these days I see so many people, they just get off on telling the bad about another person or their hang-ups and their shortcomings. And
we all have them. And we all have them. We're not, none of us are perfect, but I would say this, though. I'm shooting a messenger.
Right.
I'm going to tell you why I'm shooting a messenger, because not that I want to give them a platform, but there are consequences and repercussions to everything. And I grew up in a world, if you said something bad about somebody, they'll come punching them out.
Yeah.
I really did.
But these days, the transition is they ducked off somewhere online. So you fighting ghosts.
Like what your boy say, Twitter finger gangsters. Who said that? Yeah.
You know, you have that. And the funny thing, it's so funny. Mike Epps, I believe, he told a story. He was telling a joke, but he really told a true story. He said, man, somebody kept hacking me online, going at me every time I post something, ooh, this, ooh, that. He said, man, I paid money to investigate to find out who this is, keep coming on my page talking. See, I found out who it was. It was a little 13-year-old white boy way in Idaho. Damn. And he was like, from that, I learned, he was like, man, it could be any and everybody just talk down on you.
Yeah.
And come to find out, so saying that to say, who you gonna fight? What's the stature? You fighting ghosts, you fighting people.
And you can't beat up everybody.
Yeah, and then these days, you know.
We would like to, though.
The number one quote everybody tell us, you got too much to lose. You know, one of the main things I value, you know, we blessed to make money. That come and go, we can make more. But the value of family and your kids and your home, that's something you can't replace. So anytime somebody plays with that, that's when you gotta have a conversation.
Yeah, and listen, that's that Italian mob line, because you know what? No women, no kids. No women, no children. You know, and that's that. Tell me, how many kids do you have?
3.
You have 3 kids. Okay, all right. And any of them enter in the fitness world, or what do you think?
They still young. They play. They like to. It'd be so great to see them just be aware and into it. And sometimes they be at the gym. They'll be like, oh, make them do 10 push-ups. Make them do 10 jump jacks.
Hey, hold on. Let's be perfectly honest with you. 9 billion people, I would venture to say probably half of them can do 10 pull-ups.
Right.
Yeah,
but it just be, I'll be in awe that my child, my 4-year-old, my 10-year-old is comprehending and computing and repeating back the exercise and how many number of reps and stuff like that. So
nothing wrong with raising your kids in the gym.
Right.
I advocate for that. So since this is Business is War, give me a Business is War story about family and fitness and faith. Give me a story.
In what direction?
Let's go fitness first.
Okay.
A fitness war story. Best client lesson learned.
Fitness is war story lesson. Let me tell you a lesson I learned about money management. How about that?
Let's do it.
So the fitness business doing well, but I was mixing money. I didn't know how to manage money back then. I was taking the money I was making from fitness and investing in parties and concerts, whatever. So one day I came to the studio. I got a full schedule on tap, but the lights out. I forgot to pay the bill. And then when I checked the account, my pockets, I done invested money over here that ain't come back yet from the party.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? I got clients about to show up. So I came up with something that clients show up, hurry up, put your bag inside, lock the door, we got an outside workout. So I came up with an outside workout, block to block, that went around the whole neighborhood. We went, it was on Tulane abroad. We went around the whole neighborhood, went by the jail. The inmates used to love when I come around. Cause I got 10, 20 women in tights and stuff, and the inmates bamming on the window. Man, pink tights. You know, it was a little thrill for them for their moment, whatever. Hey, come back, coach, come back next hour. So we make the block. By the time I got done with the workout outside, their time was up. So I was able to hide that the lights was out.
I ain't mad with you. That's a war story. Listen what I'm telling you. That's a war story. Because that's the pivot that you had to do in order to protect your brand, your image, your self-respect, and just keep moving forward. Listen, there's nothing wrong with being honest, but there's nothing wrong with not telling everybody stuff they don't need to know.
Yep. So, you know, by the time we got done with that workout, they didn't know the lights was out. They grabbed their stuff, kept it going, and I was able to do that for half a day till I made the money go pay the bill.
Can I tell you something? That's shooting reps in the gym. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't understand that. Mm-hmm. That's shooting reps in the gym. All right. So what do you think is the biggest lesson you've learned in being Mr. Earn That Body New Orleans?
Attack's gonna come. You know, what they say is they always gonna throw rocks at the throne. You know, I don't know why these days the trend is to attack success and happiness, no matter who you are.
So let's talk about that, because I really want to understand, why do they love you, then they hate you, then they love you again? Why do we have to go through this story? And what is it about the people in this insufficient world that feel like just attacking anybody who's working their ass off is a thing to do?
One word.
What?
Entertainment.
Yeah, well, I consider TV entertainment.
Yeah, but I got it online. I ain't got to wait till my show come on at 9 o'clock at night because they got something going on online right now. If we drop a feed about Elliott Foreman in the business right now at noon, everybody on their lunch break and they, oh, did you see?
Boy, bad news travels fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, so, you know, it's entertainment, and, you know, it's just heartbreaking that nobody cares who it affects anymore. As long as they get their entertainment for the moment, they don't care who it affects or how it trickles down.
That's one of the reasons why I do the best I can to protect those that I love. And I say that with a tremendous amount of fatherhood, husbandry, and family, even my company. The people that work with me, for me, and around me, they should do better from knowing me. And it shouldn't be something that, you know, is a clickbait situation. Mm-hmm. And so I try my best to protect my reputation, and I try my best to protect them, because I don't want them waking up and I'm on the news for crashing my Porsche. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or for whatever the case might be, you know, and so I try to guard it. Mm-hmm. But even I'm human. You know, and, you know, I mean, that gets really, really tricky. So I asked you what's next. You think a book is on the horizon?
Couple more interviews, a couple more events for men and mental health.
Yeah.
And workout. We're going to tie that in together. I reached out to a couple entrepreneurs and gentlemen and different people to bring that to life. Because at the end of the day, you know, we dealing with a lot. and we internalize a lot.
Explain that, because I know what I deal with, and it's never easy. I don't have any off days. I work 7 days a week, 365. I work on Christmas.
You said an old word. I thought you was about to say another one, but that's the thing. What's your outlet? A lot of men, strong black men who are at least trying, don't have an outlet, but they get poked and prodded all day long.
What is my outlet?
I know it used to be an outlet, but I haven't seen the video in a while.
I don't have an outlet.
When last time you put on the gloves? When last time you grabbed the jump rope? You embedded in me years ago, and I just told your son, man, we just was in the driveway jumping rope and boxing.
I get so much fulfillment out of watching my company grow and my team get better. Mm-hmm. I do. And so that's my cross. And so heavy is always the head that wears the crown. And every day I get beat up, but it doesn't get easier. I just get better at it. And so I don't think that I have a off switch or an outlet. I am definitely ADHD, but I've managed to channel it as best I can. My health is struggling. So health, wealth, and family. One gotta go. Mm-hmm. So I'm lucky that my kids are older and they need me less. And my health is taking a little bit of a hit too, because I'm not the man I used to be. Mm-hmm. But what's your outlet?
It truly has transitioned to working out and socializing with great people. When I'm able to speak or counsel with people that's speaking from experience and not emotions, that help me stay elevated and hear the right thing to do or say. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we have conversations with the wrong people in regards to they're speaking from emotion more than experience, and they'll take you down the wrong path.
You ever notice the most ratchet people have the most advice? And I take the ratchet people have the most ratchet advice, and I would never ask money advice from a broke person.
That's just like I try to respect everybody. So it's just, but the term, I can't take constructive criticism from somebody who never constructed nothing.
But they're the first to offer some criticism or some construction, And the other thing about it is they say, like, why would you take criticism from somebody you wouldn't take advice from? And there you have it.
I mean, you don't got to put this in there, but something that stuck with me, and not to be arrogant or come off in that manner, but it's hard to take advice from somebody you wouldn't trade places with.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
And, that's no shade to nobody, but it's just a lesson learned because, what place are you speaking from? Are you speaking from experience or are you speaking from a hurt place?
Well, hurt people. I haven't figured that out yet either. Mm-hmm. Because if something happens to me, I kind of get quiet. I get into my inner man, and what it is for me is that I sincerely think about my next move, because I described this to a friend recently. If you see somebody thrown into the water and they cannot swim, they'll kill themselves splashing, out of control and blowing their load. Or you might just try to lay on your back and look up and find awareness and use some calm to your benefit. That's maturity.
So what you just said, what I heard, was a valuable jewel. When you in the midst of struggle, stay calm, be still, preserve your energy.
There you go.
Because when you move fast and you overexert energy, you burn out fast.
And you're going to miss something. And you never know. Oh, you know what? There might freaking be a rope right there. You never know. But the thing about it is, for me, I look at family and friends, and I have this saying. I tell my family all the time, don't leave a back door open. Mm. Okay? And if you really think about it, as men, nothing's going to come through the front door. And if it comes through the front door, it's okay. We're prepared for it. Mm-hmm. Hey, how you doing? What happened? Oh, yeah, give me 2 minutes, put my shoes on and beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? Because we can handle that front door because we're prepared for it. It's the back door.
It's the back.
It's somebody drilling holes in a boat, and they're in the inner sanctum already. And so to all the family of businesses and entrepreneurs, I would ask sincerely, don't be drilling holes in a boat and don't be leaving the back door open, and know who you are to somebody. And everybody isn't going to be the great person. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Every Batman needs a Robin, every Pippin needs a Jordan, and a Jordan needs a Pippin, all all that's fine. So know who you are. And if your ego is in place, then guess what? That is a dangerous thing. And so I tell people all the time, you know, you can have an ego. It's okay to have an ego, but let it be justified. You just told me that when you ain't had no lights, y'all ran around the block. When you ain't had no clients, you had to figure it out. And I can appreciate that because that's war stories. And the last thing man, let me tell you something. One of the reasons that I am who I am today is because when Hurricane Katrina happened and my life fell apart, we had nothing but a car and a $300 credit card. My son's mom at the time never gave me shit. You know how much more miserable and how much more painful it could have been if she'd have hit me with the, what you gonna do now, Craig?
Man, that's so key into life these days. When adversity hits, support the source.
Yeah.
Don't attack or distract the source. At the end of the day, you know, you're the one who got to figure it out.
Even if you're afraid,
right?
Don't be. Listen, you can't help nobody that's drowning because they're much trying to drown you.
Yeah, don't do that. You gotta support. You know, we look at the celebrities and the higher ups and people who is viewed as accomplishing more than stuff like that. When they get attacked, their support system come out.
Yeah, think about it. That's so important.
And then once they get through it, you hear about how their support system came out.
So how has AI impacted fitness?
Of course it has, because it's easier, it's cheaper, it's quicker. But, just like life, nothing can take away value from the true experience of working with someone, the personality. That's just like... we can go with restaurants.
That kiosk can't replace a good waitress, huh?
What?
Yeah. Know it all the time. But guess what? When that waitress has been...
When that waitresses notice a water cup half full, when a waitress notice you need extra napkins, that service, AI and a kiosk, they can't provide that. They can give you the initial...
So let me say this. If you just look around, every quintessential fast food national chain is under full-scale financial attack. They are literally in dire straits. Mm-hmm. And have you ever experienced this? Because I think everybody in the world has. You go through the drive-thru. They give you 5 straws for 2 drinks. Mm-hmm. They give you 19 packs of ketchup, and you ain't even got nothing to need ketchup.
Oh, not no more.
And then napkins, you get 500 napkins for every single order. And it's like, there's no way in the world you can find profit because you just gave away your profit in condiments. Mm-hmm. And I know that they made an adjustment to that, but I would also say that is a real reason why AI is even in restauranting. It's even in small business because they got to cost control because people ain't doing that.
Right. You got to... I get that to a certain point, but the support is going to dwindle. Like, you're going to lose money in another area because you're taking away the personality of your business.
But you're retraining people. Remember something. You used to walk in Walmart and you used to push your basket in there for 2 things and come out with 20. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, in the shopping cart, you click buy and you literally only get what you want to get. Mm-hmm. So you lost the
experience, the
you
personality.
Lost the experience. You lost all kinds of. And listen, the most profitable items were at the checkout counter. Them doggone old ass Kit Kats. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Them chapsticks and everything that's 4,000% around the counter, the checkout counter, because that's how these big brands would influence human behavior. Mm-hmm. And so then here comes AI with the shopping cart. That's perfect. They're making it up in the shipping and handling and things like that. It's like we're training an entire generation of people that shop different, who behave different. So that's why I asked you, how has AI impacted fitness for you? And your comeback is, you still need a human being.
Yeah, AI is gonna do what it's do regardless. We always go through a phase of something new in the world, and people always give it a try. It may last for a second, but they want what they want in regards to, the experience, the personality, the quality.
What do you want to be remembered for?
That's a great question. I think truly wanting what's best for people and helping them and being a great man, a great father, a great husband, business person. But all that goes under the umbrella of truly wanting what's best for everybody and doing what I can to help them.
Wanting to be remembered as a great husband, that's a deep one, because you know what? I didn't think about that one. So what does that look like for you?
I mean, it just struggles. Is you have to stay open-minded. You got to stay open-hearted because everybody changes every 2-3 months. So you have to evolve with that. But if you close-minded and close-hearted, you don't want to hear about change. 3 months ago, she might have loved flowers. Now she might like chocolate. But if you're not paying attention and open-minded to it, you keep buying flowers and like, I'm not on that right now. So it's just... See,
that's so hard because I think I think the game is rigged because
it's in every aspect. It's in business. It's in friendships. It's in relationships. Like you have to pay attention to. Like you just brought up AI. That's the change. If you don't pay attention, how are you going to adjust?
So, Chad Ochocinco, who is a character, said the 2 most difficult things in the world to do is to hit a major league fastball and to keep a woman happy long term.
Oh, this is so true.
And I want every woman to hear what I just said. Is it impossible to keep a woman happy long term? And we ain't say happy because, you can get a Chanel bag now and be happy for 10 minutes. But then the Chanel bag don't do nothing for you in your closet by itself with no money in it. But I'm just saying, I think that the game has been rigged and we have to reestablish what relationships look like in this new modern dating climate. Because today women are unwed, they haven't had babies, and they're not even on the roadmap to it, and the whole game has just done something different. The family nucleus isn't the most important thing anymore.
That to me comes a lot from social media. They get into the social media expectations more than reality. They will be quick to say they want a man to do 100% instead of 50%. So you would rather do 100% on your own than a man do 50%. And that's something small.
I gotta tell you something. That's the feminist marketing that has done a number job on a lot of people. Because you're ready for this? The average girl is not looking at the average man.
It's so many different ways we could take this conversation. But it just, like I said, the social media expectations compared to reality, what you expected for love, what you expected for intimacy, what you expected financially, and instead of really honestly focusing on how somebody treats you. Because at the end of the day, ladies, when the booty drop, when the body not banging as it used to, you really supposed to find somebody who just love you for you. And if you never find somebody who truly loves you for you, when that physical is not peak anymore, or your finances are not peak anymore, then they're going to leave you.
Yeah, and that's if you fall in love with the outside. So let me ask you, how can we support you? How can we find you?
Support me by spreading the word of what a great business and team Earn That Body is, and helping the fitness community and the community work we do. The business is at 2600 Gravia, Earn That Body, Jim Nola. We have a website with different products, earnthatbody.com, detox products. You have pre-workout products. I got a new product I apologize. I should have brought you one. I'm going to ship it to you. The pre-workout.
Okay. Now, don't make me nervous now. Is it, what is it?
No, it's a pre-workout. It basically powder, mix it with water, give you great energy and focus to for you to have a phenomenal workout. And a lot of clients are even starting to use it daily, like before work on a mid shift to carry them through the rest of their day. Okay. It's strategically structured that not to be overbearing where, you got jitters and stuff like that. So you build it up with your scoops,
That's me. My delicate ass take anything and I'm in bad shape.
Right. So you just start off with one scoop, and then if you feel like you can handle more, you take more. But man, your workout's gonna go crazy. Your day is gonna go crazy in regards to being more productive, more efficient with everything you do, and mentally it gives you a whole different type of focus. Myself, social media, Mo Flipping on Instagram.
Okay. All right. And if they want to get a workout class, they can just reach you on any one of those platforms?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, or the website.
And they will have to sign a waiver because they can't do 10 push-ups.
Got to sign a waiver. It's like sign your life over to me.
Okay. All right. Listen, today I had an opportunity to speak to a friend and a former boxing student of mine, and we talked about the journey from the first client all the way up into where we are now, which is a beautiful fitness facility with a faculty and team members with all kinds of curriculums and things that are designed to help you live a more fulfilled life. And I think you should give them a shout. But inside of the journey, we're looking at family, faith, focus, and finances. And we heard the stories right here in the War Room. If you feel like you're ready to take the challenge, the 21-day the Flipping Fitness Challenge, then reach out and tell them that I sent you and use the promo code Bonita and get $2 off, right? Yeah, we like that. And listen, this Business is What platform is all about you sharing your story, real things happening, and real people in real life. And so if you got a story that you think that can handle the stress test of me asking about your P&L and what it is you did to make your first $1 million or whatever that case might be, then reach us and send us an email and we'll have a real conversation. But in the meantime, do what you got to do. This is the only life you're going to get. Don't be drilling holes in a boat. Don't leave the back door open. Don't be throwing rocks up. I learned so many things today. I'm going to put it into a fitness flipping how-to book pamphlet, and we're going to talk about it on the next side. But until then, you stay out of trouble, and I will see you soon because business is war, and you have to protect yourself at all times.